So I'm 24 and I've come to the conclusion that it's hard to get dates when you're ugly. I mean, look at me. I'm so ugly. I was voted in high school most likely to masturbate. I'm so ugly my parents kept a photo of the kid who came with the wallet. Yeah. I look like I make vape juice out of my bathtub. Yeah. I look like I have all the STDs and might have created a new one. So because I'm ugly, and it's hard to get dates. Look at me, I gross. And so anyway, I was on a date with a rather older woman just a couple weeks ago, and to give you an idea of how old she was so old. Her social security number was three. Yeah, she was so old, her blood type was discontinued. And so we're going and we're talking, and the entire time we're talking, she's talking to me about how her and her dead son communicate. They communicate via Ouija boards and crystal balls and all this crazy stuff. And I like, what in the world are you talking about? This bitch is crazy. And I didn't say that, but that was what was going on in my head. And anyway, finally, after about a 15-minute drive, we get to her house. And she says, do you want to sit down? And I said, sure, I'll sit down. And her house was the strangest house I'd ever stayed in my entire life. It was black walls and purple curtains and no overhead lights, just lamps and that, and very dark and very dark. It was just a dark house. And she said, you sit down there. I'm going to go slip into something more comfortable. And I said, wow, this is just like in the movies. And so she goes and sits down, and I get a glance at her at the back room there, and it looks like this long box. And I go, what the hell? This bitch has a coffin in her house. And it really was like the God and the devil were telling me, get out, or, get out. She has a coffin in her house. You're gonna be sitting in there with her dead son. And the devil was like, no, or God was like, no. She's moving, she's unpacking, and away in that, and finally she comes back in, and we begin to make out, and through moving and negotiating and stuff, I see the box again, and let me just tell you, when you think there's a dead body in the room and you're making out with your lover, it's a total mood kill. Okay, it is for real. And so I tried to ignore it and I couldn't, and so I finally just threw her off of me. And I said, "Look, you crazy woman, you have a coffin in that room. Your dead son's in that box. You ought to be ashamed of yourself." And she said, "What are you talking about?" And she turned on the light, and it was a tanning bed. It was a tanning bed. And I left in embarrassment, and there was not a second date.